It is Wednesday, September 22nd, 2021. Just got off the dock in Harbor Springs a short while ago after extending our stay there by a night. Here's that concrete boat we saw the other day. Anchored down here, that's interesting. Got off the dock back there just about 5-10 minutes ago. A little hectic. The wind was blowing us onto the dock, so it's work to get us off without getting the bright work up against the pilings. I'll recover in an hour or two. So it is 12:55 on September 22nd. That's a Wednesday, 2021. Still on Little Traverse Bay, and got a double reefed main on and a deeply reefed jib. Jib is probably coming down a little later. Exercising some extremely poor judgment, but we got a gale warning coming. We've known about it. We've been kind of trying to time getting back down the lake, and yesterday wasn't looking good. They were forecasting westerly winds, southwesterly winds shifting to west, and we'd have been doing a fair amount of motoring, so we decided to spend another night in Harbor Springs, hoping that the forecast for gales would improve, and it didn't. In fact, the small craft advisory up on this end of the lake today has now been replaced with a gale warning to begin late this evening and go into the early hours in the morning, and by the time we're on the southern half of the lake, they'll be well into their gale warning. But the other option was to sit in either Harbor Springs or Petoskey until probably Monday. Late in the day on Monday, it looked like a window opened up to sail a little bit and then closed again pretty quickly on Tuesday. And we'd have been fighting some harsh headwinds getting back across the lake, be it on motor or under sail. Don't feel like we made the right decision, but here's where we are. So we've got everything secured for heavy weather, and we're prepared for a miserable night. And the wind is dying. What the hell is that? So the 5 cruises we've taken on this vacation, it looks like 3 of them will be in some form of gale conditions. Had 2 nice days of sailing, one from Northport to Charlevoix and another from Charlevoix to Harbor Springs. The first day crossing the lake, the winds were supposed to pick up. I don't remember now exactly what they were supposed to do, but we were a good portion out on the lake and they issued a small craft advisory, and by about halfway to two-thirds of the way across the lake, they hadn't issued a gale warning, but the winds were regularly in the upper 20 knot range, gusting to 30 and even 35. Wave heights, I would estimate at around 8 to 10 feet. It all worked out good. We got in there just fine. We knew we were going to have heavy weather on the next day, but there was no severe weather in the forecast, and they had not issued a gale warning. They had issued at the last minute a small craft advisory, which didn't really worry us that much. And I think it was the morning of that they had upgraded the forecast to 35 knot gusts. It had been 30. We no more than got out on the lake and a ways up the shore, and all the severe weather warnings started coming out. They never issued a gale warning, but we saw winds again regularly approaching 30 knots, gusting to 35, and not infrequently over 40 knots. I wouldn't care to estimate the wave height, but they were very frequently in the 10-foot range, I would guess. But it wasn't a bad day. We had the wind right behind us, and the boat handled it well. So I am reluctant to tempt fate by doing it again, but given our previous 2 experiences on this trip, the boat handled it just fine. So the only thing that concerns me about this one is we're going to be doing a good portion of this trip in the dark, and I don't like that at all. I don't mind sailing at night, but not in a gale. Anything to add, hun? Say hey, Michi. So I think there's a divorce, if not a murder, in my future.
That's not true.
Well, it's supposed to be pretty breezy by now, as it is, on the order of 17 to 20 knots. And we're having trouble keeping the sails filled. We know they're going to make good on the gale, because anything that's not to our advantage, you can take to the bank. But they're sure going to tease us for a while out here. Much more of this, and I'm going to fire up the Iron Jenny. Well, it's just about 3 hours after we got off the dock in Harbor Springs, and we're just off of Charlevoix right now. We've done about 14 miles in that 3 hours. 1/10 of our 140 miles to Manitowoc. So what we've already done, we only have to do 9 more times, and twice as much wind, and twice as big a waves. Yay! So the breeze is still has filled in. It's pretty steady now. Like I say, occasional gusts to about or a little over 20 knots. Still under the reef main and jib. Wondering if it picks up a little bit more, I'm going to douse the jib, and we'll run under the main alone. And the winds are supposed to be out of the northeast. Right now they're out of the north-northeast. By the way, we had it's pushing a little more towards the northeast now. We had a little issue the first outing with the wind instrument, the ground wind registering, and I realized I had plugged in the cables backwards on the chart plotter. Plug the wind instruments into the engine instrument plug, and so anyway, I got that figured out in Frankfurt. So we've had fully functioning wind instruments ever since, but let's hope they continue to fully function. Yeah, it's already not feeling very fun. Not as it was a minute ago.
Yeah, we had some that had appeared the horizon a few minutes ago.
So that Land's End over there is the tip of the Leelanau Peninsula. It's about 4:48 in the afternoon, so we've been at this for close to 5 hours now. And the worst is yet to come. The gale warning up in this neck of the woods doesn't begin until 11 o'clock tonight. Everything south of the Manitou Islands, I think it's already going there, and it ends about, unless it gets extended, it ends about 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. This one ends about 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, but we'll already be in the thick of the other one, so we get to ride that one out all the way across the lake. And Michi taking a trick at the helm. I don't think she's very happy with me right now. It's my fault. The decision to go is my fault. I didn't make the weather, but I decided to sail in it. It's gonna get worse than that, damn it. Well, it is 7:36 and the sun is just setting on North Manitou Island. We've gone just over 40 miles today, just broke the 100-mile mark to go. 99.5 miles to Manitowoc. And winds are regularly gusting close to 30. Michelle saw 30 when I went below for dinner. I've been seeing 29 pretty often. So it is going to be a long, long night. Neither one of us are going to get any sleep. It's too rocky, too noisy, too everything. Michelle's not really comfortable steering in seas like these. I don't blame her, it's no fun. So anyway, we're just going to plug along. They revised the gale warning. It doesn't start now until 1 a.m. up here and ends at, was it 9 a.m.? And we haven't been able to find out from the recorded weather messages what's going on the south end of the lake. So, but a lot of the buoys are reporting winds a lot less than were forecast by now. Maybe that's a good sign, maybe not, I don't know. I mean, it's probably just late. So, anyway, probably not much more to film tonight. Hopefully there will be somebody around to film something tomorrow. Okay, so just another 150 feet down here, not even that maybe, is an even better view of Harbor Springs in the bay. And let's see, our boat is right, get that right, somewhere right around in there. The Aha. Interesting looking boat. Built by a gentleman named Shay who lived in that house. So is this our fourth hike up the hill today after 2 scoops of Michigan pothole?
Need to go up it again.
We had to climb the hill again, if for no other reason to alleviate a little bit of guilt. But we walk the other way and the view gets even better.